All right, dumpsterdiving, back at it again. So we are doing the draining of the cell phone keypads. I have my gloves right here and have to do this inside because of the rain right now. So I have my two pieces here. These are coffee filters that we're using. We have our two strainers here. We have a double strainer system over there. And then what we're gonna do is, since we have had all of this in for more than a month right now, we are going to put everything in. I'm going to put my safety gloves on, as many of you end up having issues with. You say, John, where's your PPE? I got it right here. I'm putting my PPP on, which is your personal protective equipment. And we are going to begin draining out the first cell phone part there. And we are going to be very careful with it right now. So what we're actually going to end up doing is draining this in there because they're both the same, but we needed an additional amount. So we're going to take this up very carefully and we're going to pour it inside. Okay. Now the good part is we're going to drain all of that in there. And then as that's draining, we're going to take these cell phone boards here. Okay, and we're going to put them inside of this container. Okay, now that we have our cell phone boards there separate, as you can actually see, and I'm going to show you this, we have a lot of gold in there. You can clearly see that on camera going around, but we have to clean out this container. Okay, we're not going to do that just yet. What we have to do is we have to get this liquid over in here. So in order to do that, we're going to have to be very, very careful. Many people actually use a measuring cup right now. You can use something that is plastic. So I will actually be using this little plastic container because it has a longer end to it. So we're going to take our first scoops out of this. We're going to take it up, pour it back in there right now. We're going to take up our first scoops, and I'm doing it this way because I don't want any cell phone residue piece there. Okay? And then we're going to come over here, and then we're going to put it inside of our containers here. Okay? Now we're going to slow pour this. Okay? We're going to slow pour it. Okay, and that's it. All right. And you're going to listen to it. Okay. It's going through the filter itself, all the liquid. We're going to let the gold stay. And we have a second part over here. We're going to pour this in as well. Now, while you pour it in, you have time to actually adjust the filter. But be careful, don't adjust it when you have all that liquid in it, or it's going to actually end up breaking and the gold is going to go through it, okay? So now we're going to take a little bit more here, okay? Now it's not going to take this long to do the process because we actually don't have this much here, and a lot of the weight in there is actually going to be the gold boards. Now the good part, as you can see here, the gold is already showing right now. We're going to be very careful pouring this in. Do not overflow it. I'm telling you right now, don't overflow it. And when you pour the liquid in, always look at the angles. I'm saying look at the angle right now because if you look at it here, I don't want it going over the edge there, okay? And I'm using multiple filters for this, which is at least 10, okay? We can see a lot of the gold on the end there, but you always have to watch it, okay? So I'm gonna show you something that a lot of people don't realize. I have more filter over here and less over here. So when this drains out all the way, I'm going to adjust the filter itself to bring it more on this side, okay? Which is very, very important, okay? So as you can see, it's draining over here right now. Now what we're going to end up doing to make our job a lot easier is I'm going to put this over here and I'm going to take some of the cell phone pieces out that are in here. Okay, I'm just going to rinse them, not even rinse them off. I'm going to shake them off like that, and I'm going to put them in here. And I'm going to put some water in there, okay? I'm going to take out all the cell phone pieces that I can. I'm going to let that drain. just like that, as you can see. Let that liquid go out, and then I'm going to put them in there. Okay, what I'm doing is very simple. It's not too complicated, but there's a lot of gold still on this. Okay, so I'm showing everyone here how it's actually done. Okay. See, we still got a lot of gold on that in there. Okay. And I'm doing this way. The good part is these are plastic. They're not going to cut the glove, which is very, very important. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and look for all of these boards in here, and I'm just taking them out. Okay, I'm just taking them out of the liquid. Okay, so you can use your fingers or anything like that, but make sure you're using gloves. So as you can see, a lot of the gold is off, but some of the gold is still on. So that has to be put in water and mixed up a bit there. I want to get all of the plastic out that I can, as best as I can, because I don't want any debris going into that filter that could pop it. Okay, so always double check. Go there and see what you have, even if it's something small. Okay, now I've done that already. I've removed all of my boards into there, and all I have here is liquid. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this glove and I'm going to remove this glove because I've used it for whatever I need. I double check my hand to make sure I don't have any liquid on it. Okay, and then I'm going to come back over here. Now, so far what we have is beautiful. We have a lot of the gold in here going to the bottom and a lot of this here. So I'm going to adjust this whole thing there. Okay, very good, very, very good. Okay. All right, so what we're going to do is we are going to go in again. All right. We're going to pour, and I'm going to take my time and be very careful with this. Remember, you don't want splashes. You don't want to pour over too much. Okay, I'm going to leave that right there, at least a centimeter to a ½ inch on that. Now, when it comes to the curved ones, I'm going to be very, very careful. Okay, very simple. It's pouring out now. You're going to leave that, let that sit, let the gold go in it. Okay. Now, the good part is we can give it about 3 minutes for it to go down. But as it collects more and more gold, that gold is going to settle, so it's going to take a longer time to go out. Now, I say use about 10 of these filters right there. It's very important. You definitely need to. What we're going to do is we're going to drain everything out. Then what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to put water into that and then just stir it around with a stick. Okay? Once I stir that around with a stick, okay, and I filtered out all of this, I'm going to pour that liquid back into this. I'm going to filter the liquid out of there, shake that off, and then double check to make sure all of the gold is off. If all the gold is actually off, I might have to go through it by hand a little bit, but if I have to, it's absolutely fine, as long as we drain all of that out. And since this is practically done, I could actually just pour this liquid into another container if I need to. All right, so far, that's what's going on. Okay, you can see the gold is actually accumulating at the ends, and you see it accumulating at the ends there. Perfect, okay? So this is exactly what's going on. I do need to get the gold out of that container, so let me show you. We do still have a bit of gold in this container. This is why you need to have a little spray right now, just a little bit of a spray here, which is good, but I'm not going to spray this at all with water or rubbing alcohol because this is gold going into the filters. I'll do that last. Okay? So far we have a lot of gold coming through this. What we're going to do is we're going to show how to take this liquid, spray it into a container and then into a glass container and we could slowly heat that glass container up or just let that sit and dry. Okay, we can put it with some water and get the copper off, but that's what we want to do. We want to have a slow process when doing this. If you rush it, you will lose gold. Okay, I'm doing this now, as many of you can actually see, because it is kind of a bit drizzly outside, and I don't want to get anything on that there. Okay, now I could use other filters to make this go faster, so I'll grab a few more strainers to get this off. I do have a white one here, but this one won't fit. It's a bit too small. All right, so what I'll do is I will grab a few more strainers. I will filter all of this out. Okay, that's the plan. I'm gonna put half of that with some water, and I'm gonna go with my gloves and just move it all over with my hand a bit. And then the ones that are done, I'll just go ahead and do that, or I can do that later on tonight in another video. Right now, I might be able to do that with another video, get that gold out and strain it. And yeah, that's what we'll do. So it looks, to be honest, like most of the gold is off. I don't have to put it back through acid. I just have to get it off with my hand. And a few mistakes. Oh, that's not a mistake. So yeah, as I'm looking at this right now, all the gold is practically off. It just needs a nice little rinse. Okay. All right, and as we see so far, it is going through, which is perfect. I'm going to get a few more strainers, and we'll do that way. All right, that's how we get it done. Okay, so what's the next process? Next process is simple. We're going to drain all of our liquid into these two here. Once these two are filled up and all of it is done, we're going to move these strainers here to this bucket. We're going to pour the liquid there. We can put that liquid to another project. And we're going to put the gold that's in here into a small little container, and then we're going to pour that with water, and we'll leave that up for another video. So I'll do that video later on tonight to show how to get that complete, and that's going to end up being more gold for us. Okay. All right, so I'm going to do this one more shot with you since you're here. Okay, I'm going to take a bit more gold off of this there. Look at that. That's how it looks when all that. Damn, that looks nice, man. Sexy as ever. Okay. Slow pour. Do not rush. Okay. Do not rush it. And I stop because I don't want it getting over the edge. Okay. Very simple. This is not a process you want to rush. Slow, baby, slow. See this? Slow. Very slow. Okay? Very simple. Let it drain out. Okay? Now, some things that people actually do, they decide to actually re-drain the liquid itself for more gold. You can, but since we're going to put it to another project, we'll pick that up. And we'll see how much gold we actually have out of this right now. Okay? So we're going to let all of that go out itself, which is good. And that's it. All right, I'm going to let you guys go. Pro Dumpster Diver out. Questions, comments, concerns, put them below. I will read them. I'll see you guys.